Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. The Transportation and Commerce Committee will now come to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Boyd. Alderman Mayoral.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderman Ryan.
Here.
Alderwoman Evans.
Present.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Chairman Cone.
Present.
By present, you have quorum.
Great, thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and approve the meeting minutes from our February 24th, 2022 meeting. I do have one question though, Madam Clerk. I currently don't have access to the Google Drive. I notice on the agenda for today that we have Alderwoman Navarro as a member of the committee, and clearly she's no longer with the Board of Alderpersons. So I just want to make sure she's not listed as a member on the minutes from that meeting, because I believe she had resigned by that point.
Give me just a second. I can check. I don't have a copy of the minutes in front of me. I can double check.
All right, we'll make it a friendly amendment. And then if we could just remove her from today's agenda item as well,
Got it.
I would appreciate it. And with that friendly amendment, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion on the approval of the minutes from the February 24th, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second on the approval of the minutes?
Second.
It was moved by the alderman of the 23rd ward. I heard a second from the alderwoman from the 4th ward that we approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2022 meeting. Thank you very much. This morning, we don't have any board bills or resolutions on our agenda. The purpose of today's meeting is to hear introductions from the mayoral appointments to the Airport Arts Advisory Committee. These were nominations that were referred to committee. And I have worked with the mayor's office and the director of airports to ensure that we had as many of these appointees as possible in attendance for today's meeting. I do want to acknowledge that we are somewhat time limited today. So, would like to try and keep any questions or comments to, roughly a 3 to 5 minute window. But the process that I'm envisioning for this morning is that, we'll go ahead and take up that item on our agenda this morning, do some welcomes, allow each of them the opportunity to introduce themselves. And then we'll take questions from the members of the committee one by one as we go through each of the appointments.
And just real quick, don't we need to do a vote on the approval of the minutes? We had a first and a second.
Oh, you're right, Alderman.
So then that's why I had my hand.
That is pretty important. Just moved right by that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Madam Clerk. Can you please call roll on the approval of the minutes from the February 24th, 2022 meeting?
Alderman Boyd.
Thank you.
Alderman Mayoral.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Ryan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Chairman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderwoman Schweitzer. For
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Thank you. 5 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And apologies to the committee on the oversight there. And thank you to my colleague from the 23rd for pointing out the error of my ways. So we'll go ahead and take up item number 1 on the agenda, which is the mayoral appointments to the Airport Arts Advisory Committee. I am uncertain. I know we had representation from the mayor's office for our meeting last week. It does look like the airport director is available, or she's online. I wasn't expecting to see her this morning. But Rhonda, I don't know if you have any words that you would like to say before we welcome the nominees.
Shane, it's Will Becker. I'm actually sitting in
Hey,
for
Will.
Rhonda. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm sitting
right.
in for Rhonda.
She did mention that she's forwarding her link to you, so it shows up with her name on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, welcome to the meeting. So Will Becker is here from the airport. He works on the airport's PR team, and he is available for any questions as it relates specifically to the Airport Arts Advisory Council, not to the nominees. He is here for committee members for any additional questions specific to the committee itself. We'll go ahead then and take up item number 1, which is the mayoral appointees. First of all, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome all of you to the Board of Aldermen. I know some of the emails that go around might seem a little intimidating at times, asking for your testimony, but it is purely, our kind of verbiage that we use here down at the Board of Aldermen. I hope that you take this with the kindness and respect that it's worthy of. These are obviously roles that are important to our city, and obviously important to the airport and the beautification of the airport, and ensuring that we have art that's representative of all our region. And so we are just here this morning to learn a little bit more about you before we go through the confirmation process itself. And so what happens sometimes is when these nominations come before the Board of Aldermen, any member of the Board of Aldermen can ask that they be referred to committee. And when that happens, we do have to have a hearing on them. And when possible, we do try to invite the nominees to attend so that they're able to introduce themselves so that we can learn a little bit more about you. It's also an opportunity for members of the Board of Aldermen to try and work with the administration to have conversations around, items like representation, be that racial, ethnic, regional, where they live within our city or region, gender, sexual orientation, religion, etc. And so, we're here this morning to just get to know you and ask you, possible questions as it pertains to your background or interest in serving on this committee. So I have 7 nominees that are on the agenda for this morning. I think there's 5 or 6 that are in attendance this morning. Thank you all for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to be here with us. The first nominee who is on our agenda is Kiku Obata.
Yes. Hello. Hi. I'm
Hello, Kiku.
Hi, how are you? Do you want me to just give a little background?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So with each of the nominees, if you could just your name, address, or block that you live on, and just a little bit of your background and your interest in serving on the Airport Arts Advisory Committee.
Absolutely. My name is Kiku Obata, and I'm president of Kiku Obata and Company, and we're a design firm, and we've been based here in the city of St. Louis since 1977. And my office is in the Pageant on Del Mar. We're at 6161 Del Mar. And, I've had a lifelong interest in design and architecture. My dad was founder of HOK, and so I've been around art and architecture my whole life. Our firm designs, we have architects and graphic designers and environmental graphics, and we do projects in St. Louis and in basically all over the country. One of the things that we did was the signage for the airport. We did the graphics for Keener Plaza. We did the streetscape on Washington Avenue between Tucker and 18th, and numerous other projects in the city of St. Louis. And we also did signage at the zoo. And we just finished the signage at LaGuardia's new Terminal B airport in New York. We do a lot of work in Chicago, in healthcare and in retail. So we do lots of different kinds of projects all over the country. We have about 18 people in our firm, and as I said, ranging from architects to graphic designers. And I also serve on the board of the St. Louis Art Museum. I've been on that board for about 3 years now and serve as chairman of the building committee. And I've also been on this airport art advisory committee for about, I think, 5 or 6 years, and I've really enjoyed it. My dad was the project architect for the airport, so it's really a wonderful chance for me to add to his design efforts. So that's been really wonderful, and I feel like we've really tried to bring in local artists and a really diverse range of artists, so that people coming into the city of St. Louis really understand the diversity of our city and how important that is, and how we can engage and enlighten and educate people about the city through art. So it's been a really wonderful experience, and I'm really honored to be part of this group.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and allow each member of the committee, and if there's any other alder people on the call, the opportunity to ask you any questions. So we'll start off with members of the committee. Alderman Boyd, I believe, actually Alderman Boyd asked to be excused, Madam Clerk. Alderman Vaquero.
Just a question again on, are we supposed to swear everybody in now under our new whatever? I have no questions of any of the, I kind of did my own background research, but I didn't know if we're supposed to swear everybody in now or not.
These aren't folks offering testimony on a board bill or a resolution. They're here talking about their own personal background. So I'm not planning to swear any of them in. They're not testifying on behalf of a board bill.
Okay, I didn't know if that was what we do now or not. That was more of a curious question. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, my understanding is, since they're not testifying on behalf of a board bill, or Madam Clerk, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But
no, you're the chairman. I wouldn't worry about it. I was just asking, but I have no questions of any of the candidates. I did check, look at,
Okay. Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans.
I have no questions. I just wanted to, what's your address, Kiku?
My work address is 6161 Delmar, and then my home address is 8 McKnight Lane.
Okay. Thank you. No questions.
Okay, thank you.
Are there, Alderwoman Schweitzer, have you been able to, I'm not sure if she's joined us yet or not. I see Alderwoman Pam Boyd is on the line. Alderwoman Boyd.
I have no questions for this candidate. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't, Alderwoman Annie Rice.
No questions, just listening. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. With that, I will, I'll save the motion to adopt the nominees until the end of our introductions here. The next, actually, I left myself, I'm sorry, I'm a little spacey. I've been a little ill the last few days. So rallying back, thankfully. But Kiku, I want to ask you a question. You have a daughter, Meredith.
Yes, I
don't
do.
You?
I do.
Was she?
Yes.
She's a Clayton High School graduate, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yes.
I went to school with her.
Oh, you're kidding! Oh, how funny.
I did. Many moons ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was a delight to be a school classmate with. So tell her hello for me.
I will do that.
I haven't seen her in ages.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, good.
So, but thank you again for your time this morning.
Thank you.
The next candidate that's on the list of nominees is Roseanne Weiss.
Good morning,
Roseanne, are you-
everyone.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Good
all right?
morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Roseanne Weiss. Some of you know me. I have about 35 years of experience in St. Louis working in the arts. For about 10 years, I was the program and education director for the Contemporary Art Museum. And then for about 14 years, I was with the St. Louis Regional Arts Commission. And in that role, I worked with artists and community and public art. So I have a pretty deep background in the arts in St. Louis. So I'm always very excited to be part of this committee. I've served on this committee in the past and hope to serve on it again. I think we are a very important part of the experience of the airport. I think the airport is the door to our community for many people. I've been very lucky actually through my work, because recently I was working with Americans for the Arts and doing workshops around the country. So I was in lots of different airports in smaller cities, not all the big ones, and just always appreciate what people have done to showcase their communities in their airports. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job with that. And I hope to continue to do that as we raise the private funds and we write the grants in order to do that. I live in the 17th Ward on Taylor Avenue, 63108. And I am a native St. Louisan, so I feel very much connected to my community. And I am more than happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you, Roseanne. So Alderman Vaquero, any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Alderwoman Middlebrook?
No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Narayan?
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans?
No questions, just a comment. I remember you from when I went through the CAT program,
That's right.
community arts training program, very good educational program that you are affiliated with. And I just want to say hi.
And did you know that Shane also went through the CAT Institute?
No.
I sure did.
You're a CAT alumni.
Meow.
Yes, he is.
Learning something new every day. Thanks for outing him. I didn't know.
Yeah. I was going to out myself at the end if it didn't come up.
Okay.
I've been outing myself most of my adult life at this point. So nothing stays in the closet very long in my life.
No.
Alderwoman Schweitzer? Alderwoman Boyd?
I just have one question. Are you employed right now? Are you working in the arts or anything?
Alderman Ward, I do freelance work right now. And so I've been working with Americans for the Arts, which is a national organization, and then also working with the Gebhardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement at Washington University. But all of those are my part-time gig kinds of things. So I'm doing consulting.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Alderwoman Rice?
Just thanking everyone for their service.
Wonderful. I also am very familiar with Roseanne for quite a while now, and I'm just happy to see her continuing her service to our region and this capacity, and certainly with your background and the arts, it's much welcomed and appreciated. So thank you for your time this morning. Very much appreciate it. And it's just a pleasure to see you. It's been too long, and I'm sorry that it's virtual, but it's still good to see that beautiful smile. I miss it. It's just warming my heart. So next on the list, I know she's number 7 on the agenda, but we have a new nominee that is actually being submitted to the board. The mayor's office sent the letter, I believe, today for the replacement of one of their nominees. And I'm going to ask that Miss Lois Ingram come before the committee.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be amongst
Good
these
morning.
wonderful people in front of me. I know quite a few people and I've worked with, I am too also a CAT alumni. I'm a Tiger alumni, which was a year-long CAT program. So, I spent a lot of time with Roseanne. I love her. And HOK, I worked with them on the stadium. I was the
good.
signage company that installed all the permanent signage.
Okay.
But I've traveled the 8 neighboring states doing signage work. But my company is a photography, videography, and graphic art company. And I've been in that as a president and CEO for more than 34 years. Prior to COVID, we opened up a second location. We were at 4937 Washington for over 30 years. And we opened a second location where I put a lease, and they shut us down for 3.5 months for both locations. So we had to consolidate. And presently I'm out here near the airport. I'm a St. Louis, North St. Louis resident. Been there for several years, like 40. So that's pretty much, I work with students quite a bit. In a few minutes, we will have about 4 students coming in to intern with my company out here. We're always connected with learning and giving students an opportunity to learn firsthand life skills. And so we practice that quite a bit. And I'm a judge currently with several schools in like the county areas. I'm working with the Quanah group, judging young people's art and photography work.
Wonderful.
And I do quite a bit of that. And I travel, I'm an international traveler. Normally I bounce into West Africa quite a bit, twice a year or so. But I do see quite a bit of airports internationally. And I'm always constantly walking through and seeing how they improved, because I've done this for so many years. You see the changes in the airports. And so I'm always constantly on look on the diversity and their impact.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I was
you.
actually underneath the impression from the mayor's office that you may have had some student guests with you this morning already. So
no, they come in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, they are more than welcome to join us on this
Okay.
journey this morning as well. If you think it would be beneficial to their learning, we always love welcoming students to the Board of Aldermen, even in our virtual environment.
Okay.
The more that they can learn about our civic processes and government, we're happy to educate them and have them as part of our little community here at the Board of Aldermen as well. So
I agree.
they are more than welcome to join us if they join you in the next few minutes as well. So we'll take questions from the committee. Alderman Vaquero.
I have none.
Okay. Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans.
I have no questions.
My
I do
fellow
have
CAT
a
alum.
comment.
I'm sorry.
I mean, a question. Well, it's not a question. You say you live on the north side?
I live at 4858 Margaretta. So
Okay,
that's Shreve and, Natural Bridge area. Yeah.
okay. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions.
Alderwoman Rice. Okay. Thank you so much for your You don't have to stay if you have
No,
students that you need
I
to
want
attend
them to
to, but
experience this as well. So when they
Okay.
do come in, I'm gonna just have them sitting in the back.
sure. And honestly, you're more than welcome to just raise your hand. And if you want to introduce them, we'll be happy to take the time to, greet them as well. So
Thank you.
happy to have them. They can be my honored guest this morning. The next person that I have on the list is Stephanie Whedon Smith. I know that name.
Good morning, everyone. So glad to see all your faces. I'm going to again join the Love Fest for the Community Arts Training Institute. I too am a graduate of the program and had the pleasure of working with a lot of graduates and alums after being in the program. And I was able also to have a great opportunity to work with Roseanne and others as faculty member for the Community Arts Training Institute. So glad to be a part of that particular wonderful club. I am the inaugural director for the St. Louis Anchor Action Network. It is a network that is supporting and leading many of our anchor institutions, our health systems and higher ed and private business, and really using their resources to invest in communities that have been historically disinvested in. So excited for this work that is ahead of me, excited to be able to uplift Black and Brown businesses within a focused geography of 22 zip codes, and excited to really get more folks hired within those, at this point, 11 institutions. And so excited just to see and uplift St. Louis in a way that it hasn't been. And so just in for the ride on that. I live on 3500 Juniata. I left, unfortunately, Shane's ward a while back, and so I'm really connected and glad to have Alder Andy Rice here. In terms, I'm in Ward 8 at this time.
You'll always be a 3200 Dakota resident to me.
I will, in my heart, yes, in
Yeah.
my heart, I still. And still drive over there many times. In terms of, I have just this love for the arts and for community arts, and really interested in the intersection of art and civic engagement. My last gig was with Roseanne. So again, we stay connected in terms of our love for the arts and for civic and community engagement. And we were able to build a program of arts and civic engagement. And, that intersection, I think, goes quite hand in hand with this work of the airport and how do we really be champions of St. Louis? How do we give opportunities to give voice to a diverse amount of artists to be able to tell their stories, historical perspectives on St. Louis? And, as Roseanne mentioned, it is the door, it is the window for folks as they come into our community to understand all the gems that we have available to us. And so it is an honor to be able to serve on this commission and to be able to invite more artists and more connection to our city. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. We'll go ahead and take questions from the committee. Alderman Vaccaro.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans.
No questions. Thank you. Welcome, fellow CAT members.
I feel like saying meow every time I hear that. Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderwoman Rice.
I want to say thank you so much for all of your service to the community, to the city. Thanks for being here today and for being willing to serve on this committee.
Thank you.
I only have one question, really two. One, who's better, me or Annie? No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. But please do, share my best with the family. I haven't seen you all in forever either, and it's just really good to see you here as well. This is like you said earlier, it's kind of becoming a little bit of a love fest. It's nice to see so many familiar faces again that I haven't seen in a while, even if it's virtually.
Well, thank you. We'll have to have lunch sometime. You won't believe how tall Zora is now.
That kills me. It makes me feel old. I have the mom of one of my old classmates here, and Zora is probably a giant now. I can't even imagine. She was still in the womb, actually.
She was still in the womb when we met. So yeah. She's preteen now. So and quite a great artist. So we'll see her in this position in a few years too.
I can't wait. I don't know if I'll still be here then, but certainly I love following her on Facebook too. So it's so great to see all of the progress in the city. Let's see. Next on the list is Carlos Zamora. Carlos, are you with us? Oh, I think you're muted.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me. Okay, so my name is Carlos Zamora. I'm a Cuban American graphic designer and illustrator. I've been calling home. St. Louis has been home for our family since 2006. I immigrated to St. Louis, and since then, I've been, a big STL ambassador. I'm proud of serving this committee at the airport as the entrance of our city. Right now, I'm the owner of Chief Creative Officer for Cartel, a design studio that is specialized in illustrated branding. So our differentiator in the marketplace is the use of illustration applied to branding. So we have served, the name Cartel means poster in Spanish. And it's a little bit of a, double meaning there, because we're also a cartel, a collaboration, a gang of creatives. We have a team of 7 here in 1002 High Point Place in the city. We're on the first floor of the High Point Backlot Theater. And our recent practice includes poster design and branding for events like, the opening of the Arch. We were, I was commissioned to create the commemorative poster for the opening of the Arch grounds after the Arch grounds were renovated. I've done several projects in the city, the Shakespeare Festival, when I was working for Kiko Vara. She was my mentor, mother, and amazing person to be around for 7 years.
Thank you.
So currently we're working on the identity for the the district around the National Geospatial Agency. So basically the whole avenue on Tucker and from the intersection of Tucker and Washington up to NGA, and work, it's called Downtown North STL. So it's trying to activate a new cortex for geospatial intelligence, working with the companies that have been moving into that area, like Square at the former St. Louis Post-Dispatch building and the Globe building. So, we're proud to serve the city of St. Louis. As I said, this is home. My 2 children, one of my children, Lucia, was born here, the first American in the family. I also serve the Tennessee Williams Festival, and I serve as Director of Programming for the American Institute of Graphic Arts, AIGA, the Professional Association for Design in the city, after serving as president of AIGA for 2 years in 2014. So our practice at Cartel includes serving clients not only in St. Louis, but also in New York. We have done posters and events designed for Lincoln Center. We do, different for Washington. At Washington, we just did the 200th anniversary of Guatemala for the Organization for American States. So our practice is trying to craft a space for Latino design in the Midwest. I think we are probably the only Hispanic-owned design firm in St. Louis, and we are in the process of attaining that certification with the the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And about the program, I was honored to be invited and share my time with amazing people, Roxanne, Kiku, Rhonda, also Meredith McKinley, through VIA Partnership, which is the facilitator for the program. And it has been amazing to see how at the very beginning we had shy participation from the community, and over the years we have had a huge pool of artists who are providing amazing work that varies in all sorts of all sorts of styles and art voices. And we're trying to craft that collective voice for visitors to see the diversity and the richness of the St. Louis region. So very proud to be here. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Carlos. It's lovely to have you here this morning. We'll go ahead and take any questions from the members of the committee and board that are present. Alderman Vaquero.
No, I'm good with everyone.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans.
No questions, just thank you for all that you're doing for the city of St. Louis.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Boyd.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank the different nationalities that are here at the table. And I just wanted to make a comment. I think that we should be looking at, again, how St. Louis should look. And as an African-American, I just feel that continuously the African-Americans are always thought of at the last moment. And so I'm honored that we have other nationalities here. I don't like the way the process went. The person that was coming, another North St. Louiser that came, was very concerned about how the communication was given out. And so it was a big mix up. And so they declined to even be at the table. So I think that hurts us as a city, because communication to me is the biggest thing that can help us to build our relationships. And so I'm just asking this committee and any other committee that vets any people that are sitting on boards and commission to please ensure that we give people timely information, accurate information, so they can be able to make those decisions. I just think that's disrespectful to our residents within our city, because we cannot continuously to be messy and when we do things. Thank you. And welcome to all of you all that are at the table.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Rice.
No questions. Just thank you so much for your service and for being here this morning.
I'm just going through my roster here to make sure I'm not missing any additional attendees that may have joined. I'm not seeing any. And I believe that actually, no. Is there one more nominee? Gregory. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. My name is Gregory.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I'm glad to be a part of this. I was born and raised here in St. Louis. Grew up over at 4443 Enright. And my family, my mother was an educator and my dad had a TV and radio repair shop on Sarah. And then we moved over on 5016 Wabata. And I'm a proud alumni of Sumner High School. I guess, you know, that's the thing. What high school did you go to? I went to Sumner High School. When I went away to college, I never came back to St. Louis until 2014. I lived in New York twice, Kansas City twice, Cleveland, Buffalo, New York, spending about 35 years in consumer product companies. Ended my career in 2014 as a development director for the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics in Kansas City. During all that time and traveling, before I came back home, I spent a lot of time on boards for a number of nonprofits. A couple of the boards that I served on in Kansas City before I moved back to St. Louis was the Nelson Atkins Museum, the Mid-America Arts Alliance, the Kemper Museum. I was also appointed to the Missouri Arts Council by, at that time, the Governor, Bob Whedon. So arts has been a part of my life, my passion. Currently living here in St. Louis, I serve on the educational committee for the Contemporary Art Museum. I served on the board of Jazz St. Louis. I'm also proud, since my mother was an educator, to serve on the board of the Blanche Early Childhood Learning Center in the 63106 zip code. I also served on the committee for the Boys and Girls Club of St. Louis and served on the board of Philanthropy Missouri. I came back home to be close to my daughter. I live in the Central West End, 63108. I was honored to be asked to serve on the committee at the airport, the Arts Committee, because again, arts is something I'm very passionate about. I consider myself a collector. I know Lois from our arts travel. But I am glad to be able to contribute something while I'm here living in St. Louis. Even though I'm retired, I try to stay busy. I try to continue, as they say, lifelong learning. I'm currently taking piano lessons and coding. So I'm still trying to stay active, and I'm glad to be a part of this committee.
That is wonderful. I have to acknowledge this. Many of the nominees have beautiful pieces of artwork behind them. As I guess that's a little bit of a testament to their commitment to the arts in general. But Gregory, the piece that's behind you in particular, I am growing very fond of, actually. It's a beautiful piece.
The artist is from Kansas City, artist named Grant Miller. And usually if I come back on again, it'll be a different piece. I always try to put a different piece of art behind me when I'm doing Zoom calls.
That's amazing. I love it. Miss Ingram, I'm not sure if your students have arrived yet or not, but if they have, we'd love to see them and welcome them to our committee.
They have not, and normally they're here, but they're coming by cab, so you never know.
Oh, sure, sure.
They're required to be here by 10 o'clock, but if they came in earlier, so I would certainly have let you know.
Understood. Thank you. And if you could just let them know that we were thinking of them and love to support them in their development as well. You know, it's wonderful to have you as a teacher represented in this committee as well. I'm getting ahead of myself, Gregory. If you don't mind, we're going to ask if there's any questions from members of the committee. Alderman Vaquero.
I have no questions.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions, thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions, thank you.
Alderwoman Evans.
No questions. Maybe in the future you'll play something for us on your piano.
I would
To
love
see how
that.
your lessons are going.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderwoman Rice.
No questions. Just thanks for coming back to St. Louis and thanks for being willing to keep serving.
Welcome.
Wonderful. So we do have some changes to the mayoral appointments that are not noted on the agenda. So what I'll go ahead and do here is I'll make the motion that we accept the mayoral appointments to the Airport Arts Advisory Committee that are inclusive of Kiku Obata, Roseanne Weiss, Gregory Glore, sorry, my eyes are not what they used to be, Lois Ingram, Stephanie Whedon Smith, and Carlos Zamora.
I'll second the motion. If you're making the motion, I'll second that.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Boyd. Carroll. Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Chairman Cone.
Aye.
5 aye votes.
Great, thank you. With that, you sustain the motion that we accept the mayoral nominees and appointments to the Airport Advisory Commission. Those will be sent out to the full Board of Aldermen for their due consideration at our meeting this coming Friday. But again, I do want to take the opportunity to thank each one of you for your service to our city. It's very admirable. I always try to, educate my constituents that there's multiple opportunities for them to get involved in city government. They don't need to necessarily run for public office or, be the mayor. They can get involved in, various boards, commissions, neighborhood organizations. And, this is just one of the many opportunities that individuals can get involved in our city and make it a better place for everyone. And I do want to take the opportunity to also commend the mayor's office on the nominees that they've brought forward and their willingness to work with the Board of Aldermen on getting a more diverse and representative slate of candidates to work on this committee that will have impacts at the airport for years to come. Once these art installations are made, they're obviously very visible and they make an impact to hundreds of thousands of people who are visiting our region. And the decisions that you all make will certainly not only be visible, but have a meaningful impact for so many people, not only visiting St. Louis, but who live here. And I want to thank you for all of the time and your commitment, not just this morning, but going forward, once the nominations are finalized, and the hours that you'll spend in collaborating with one another and reviewing proposals and helping with raising money and all of the, efforts that you'll undertake to make our airport a more welcoming and affirming place for everyone. Thank you so much. That is the only other item that's on our agenda for this morning. I do want to just reaffirm that we are still going to meet probably in the next 2 weeks here once I get confirmation from the clerk and members of the committee about their availability with respect to the presentation from the airport for the airport layout plan, and then also have Antonio from the airport present on the airport's finances. So a date to be determined in terms of scheduling for that committee hearing, but it is still in the works. So I do want to give you all a heads up about that. But otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to, actually, can we excuse the aldermen from the 22nd and the 13th for necessary absence, please, Madam Clerk?
So noted.
Thank you. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 24th, that we adjourn the Transportation and Commerce Committee for March 9th. Thank you all for your time this morning. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.